You're welcome back to the BD show, and we're talking to Madam Yvette Asanji, a marriage counselor. I know many of you are enjoying the conversation already, and so we're going to be taking the last part, marriage in crisis times. Ma'am, we'll definitely make some comments about the current crisis in relation to marriage. I mean, thank you for accepting to come despite the insecurities. We thank you for that. I know that has an impact on marriages, but let's start from within the marriage itself.
Okay.
Within the marriage, I know, of course, you've cited some key examples, which are mostly emotional. We have biological crisis, which could be about child ownership, having children before coming to marriage, this here and there. These are problems that come up in marriage. Now, in a society that marriage counseling is not common, like you admitted, what has been your experience in how some of these problems are solved?
The problems, I can say, most often the parents try solving the marital problems.
Okay.
Yes, most often you see parents are interfering. But like I said, except in areas where counseling is not. But then now we are, with the technology, you can be in US. I do counseling to people in US, UK, China, Germany, Sweden. Yes, you can name them. So it is not a matter of your vicinity or where you're staying. You can get counseling even from anybody in the world through online counseling. But when you talk about, you mentioned having children maybe before coming into marriage and things like that, we call it blended families.
Okay.
Yes, and that's one area in marriage where couples face a lot of challenges. Maybe let's say I had children before getting married to you, or you had children before you came, getting married to me. And sometimes if those children are with us, the mother of the children, they'll be like calling the children to check, is that woman treating you well? And sometimes even putting kind of very wrong ideas in the children's minds concerning the wife at home. And sometimes you see the wife is trying everything possible for the children to be happy, but everything is turning the other way.
Yeah.
So blended families is just part of the problems in marriage. But if you look at conflicts in marriage generally, I think one of the major conflicts you always see is that of communication.
Okay.
Yes, because communication is not just what you say, but how you say it, and equally where you say it. Sometimes, let's say for example, you went walking, you came back home, you're very tired. I just start telling you some kind of things. The time is not appropriate. I'm supposed to know when, even as a wife, you're supposed to understand seasons. There's some kind of key things that you don't just need to start talking about it to your spouse. You need to look for a good time. Yeah. Sometimes I even encourage, why not take your spouse out? Go out somewhere, sit where it's quiet, responsible. Maybe people share a bottle of something, have something to eat. Then you can bring it up. Because sometimes familiar environments and some kind of things can actually hinder good communication. So what you say, how you say it, where you say it, all matters in marriage. So that's what communication comes with problems. And sometimes, when they say man is the head of the family, some men look at it like being authoritative, being a dictator. Hey woman, stand here. Oh, you sit there. Bring me this. No, that's not how you communicate to a loving wife. She's a human being. She's a mature person. If you must really, enjoy your marriage, you must learn to relate with her, knowing that she's a mature person like you. She's not a child. Neither is she a slave. So you can talk to her in a loving way. Honey, please, can I have a glass of water? I think that's cool. And woman, bring me water. And then in some marriages, like the woman has no say, her opinion, because that's one of the cases where we always have in marriage.
Yeah.
The woman has no opinion. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't ask my opinion. Even if he's going to buy even a couch, even just to ask my kind of color or kind of couch I would like, he just goes and buy any couch, come and keep. And I'm like, my take doesn't matter. Just even listen to my opinion. So this is one thing, relating with your spouse, communicating with your spouse. If you must have a successful marriage, you must learn to sit down with your spouse, talk with them, plan with them. Yeah. Marriage is teamwork. Baby, I was thinking that we'll go buy a bottle of water. What do you think? Say, okay, yeah, a bottle of water would have been good, But I thought maybe we needed this because of this, of that, you know. She gives her reasons, and then, okay, yeah, I think you're right, you're right. Yeah, so should we keep this for, you know, a later purchase, and then we get this for now? That's how couples need to sit down and talk. You talk, then you come out with a conclusion. Then it's not executed. But take note, in a case where both the husband and the wife cannot come to a mutual agreement, like the husband said, well, let's buy this, the wife said, no, this one is important, and then at the end of the day, the husband has the right. Please, I'm a Christian counselor and I will say it. The man is the head of the home. The Bible states it clearly. In a case where the husband and the wife can't come to an agreement, the husband has the right now to take a final decision.
Okay.
Whether it is whether it will favor the wife or not. Yes, at that level, he has right.
I hope that some women will not have a problem with you on that.
No, because we have different conflict resolution styles.
Yes.
One of them is the forcing style. The forcing style is, you know, that's what most people do. The first things, I'm the head of this home, I decide what happens. Or I'm the one working the money, so I decide what we buy, how much we buy it, you know. So that's the forcing style.
Yeah.
And when you're using that method to resolve conflicts in the home, you are pleased because things go your way, but the other person is not pleased. Then we also have the avoiding style, where couples, this is a problem. You and I know that, okay, we are married, this is a problem. But because it's bringing us a problem, we avoid talking about it. Avoiding talking about it doesn't mean it's not existing.
Okay.
Yes, it's there. Until the day you and I will really sit down and address it and handle it, that problem will still be existing. Yeah. So sometimes the avoidance can come from the both sides. Sometimes it can come from the woman's side.
Okay. Now, just very quickly, you said your position is, you're a Christian counselor. Or maybe most of your counseling is informed by Christian principles, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know, but I was just trying to understand you clearly.
All right.
So that we answer this question very quickly. Do you think that we can have a successful marriage when the two people have different religious backgrounds or they attend different churches, even if they are Christian churches?
Okay. Please, let me first of all clarify the aspect of being a Christian. The fact that I'm a Christian counselor doesn't mean I force my Christian values on couples.
Okay.
Yes, I don't. So I can attend, I'm open to even Muslim. When you come, if you're not a Christian, I counsel you from a non-Christian perspective. Okay. If you come, you're a Christian, that can permit me not use the Bible sometimes, you know. But now, talking about getting married or staying in marriage from two different religious backgrounds, it depends on the couple's level of maturity. Yes.
But it's possible.
It's possible. It's possible. But like I said, it depends on their level of maturity because on how they relate. If they understand that you have your religion, you have your beliefs, which is different from mine. You know, I don't have to force my values on you or my beliefs on you. You don't force yours on me. If I have to do anything that concerns my beliefs, you are okay with me doing it. That's maturity. But the problem is very few can reach this level of maturity when it comes to differences in religion.
I'm just imagining myself in my home. Maybe if I'm Muslim and then, it's fasting time, they have to be cooking in my house as if nothing is happening and things like that, And then my wife, if I'm Muslim and my wife is Christian, or maybe some other things like we are Catholic, my wife is full gospel and we get up on Sunday morning and you're preparing to go for your own to come back.
And then the children.
I see this as crisis.
It's crisis because
because I really see it difficult.
There's something we call in marriage. We have different kinds of intimacy. We have spiritual intimacy equally. Yes. And spiritual intimacy is the intimacy where couples are able to relate on their religious understanding. Okay. So when this is different, you know that in that marriage, there's no spiritual intimacy. Okay. And like you always hear, they say a family that prays together stays together. Sometimes, or let me say, okay, let's say you're a Muslim and she's a Christian. How will the two of you even join to pray together? Will you praying to Allah, you're praying to Jesus Christ? And so sometimes that is challenging. Equally, it also affects the children. Yeah. When the children are growing up, are they following you? Are they becoming Muslims? Or they're following me in my Christianity? So that also brings a lot of problems. Sometimes you see division starts in the family. This is my own kind of children. No, go. You are daddy's son. You are daddy's daughter. You know, and it's bringing division.
You know, this is an interesting part. The other day, I've spent some time reading the canon law, and there's a section of the canon law that actually discusses this issue of getting married to non-Catholics. The canon law is a Catholic document. It's a Catholic legislation. It's a legislation that governs actually lots of things in the Catholic Church. And when I was reading that legislation, I was reading that piece of legislation, I stumbled on a section that actually discusses issues of marriages, joint marriages. And it said somewhere that before a Catholic accepts to marry you, know that you have also accepted that all the children from that marriage will be Catholic.
Okay. I never even knew about that.
I am not too sure many of you know that.
Yes.
You know, so it's an important thing to know. Find some time, read that portion of the canon law. So it looks like there are some institutions that have tried to address this at their own level, but I see it as an issue that can actually be a source of crisis in a family.
Oh yes.
I also think that maybe income sources. I don't know whether you have problems that we have.
Yes.
I mean, income coming from one side and
yes.
things like that in the family.
Finances. Who is working the money? Who is spending? What are they spending on? Sometimes the man thinks because I'm the one working the money, the wife has no say over what we buy, over how we manage the money. But one thing men forget to understand is that what she stays home doing, if they were to pay her, you know, if they were to calculate it in terms of income, it will be huge.
Yeah.
So she is doing something that is bringing income indirectly. And so finances, whether it's a man that is working or is a woman that is working, at the end of the day, they should come together and work. You know, this is what we have as an income. Yeah. And that's why I encourage monthly budgeting. For every couple, have a monthly budget. Before the month is ending, you already have a plan of work. Income is this. Expenses, we are paying rents, we're paying bills, we're paying this. And at the end of the day, we are saving this. We have miscellaneous this, you know, it saves. But finances has brought a lot of problems. Sometimes the men spend money on their families. They keep sending money to their parents and never sending to the wife's parents. I'm talking about cases that I've had.
Yeah.
Yes, very, very frequent cases. Man sends money to his family all the time, but never sends money to the wife's family. And so the wife is like, and then sending even without the wife's knowledge. But if you're married, you know, I think this should be done jointly. So what I do is, in the monthly budgeting, there is allowance for the family, for husband's family, there's allowance for wife's family.
Okay.
So it can be treated on the mutual, yes, on the mutual program.
We're bringing this conversation to you at the eve of back to school, and I'm sure we cannot keep our children from this conversation. We'll be right back just after this break. The BD Show on your local radio soon.